guys, welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, the Bright Side Girl, and today we're going to be doing a special edition book haul. I know there are a lot of hauls and unhauls coming your way already in 2025, but you have to keep in mind that I am very strategic with my haul videos in particular. I set aside certain styles of books like special editions, ones themed for readathons, if I get a certain amount in the same kind of genre so that I can do these themed book hauls. I feel like it makes it a lot more fun. So a lot of the times, by the time you see a book haul, I have collected these books over the course of several months, if not a year. So sometimes that's why you guys get a little bit more at certain times of the year versus others. Also, for my regular hauls, I am able to find books very inexpensively. In most cases, I feel like I spend between 50 cents and $3. I'm going a little bit more in the $5 range lately just to get some particular things that I want. Very rarely do I get new books, with this haul being a little bit of an exception. So when you're seeing like multiple haul videos, it's because I'm not spending very much on the books. Honestly, some of the hauls I've spent the price of 2 hardcovers to get like 30 or 40 books. And I'm really grateful that I live in an area I can do that. I do so much trading and swapping with friends. I get rid of ones that I don't like, and we're just in a book vortex over here. So that's why there's a lot of things coming at you. I do have, if you are craving, a big unhaul video that I did for the beginning of the year where I went through a lot of my older books, a lot of my books from my TBR shelves as I like swapped everything over and unhauled a really large amount. I filmed the process of reorganizing my shelves as well, so be sure and check out that reading vlog. And I have a how to get books for $1 video as well. So lots of things for you guys to check out. I'll link them all up in the cards and down below in the description. That being said, we have a hefty amount of special editions to share with you. Some of these I received as gifts. Some of them I got through my Fairyloot subscription. Some of them I bought on sale from Target. Some of them I got from Book Outlet. I'll try to list where I got all of them and whether or not they are available still down below in the description. I almost never buy new books, but I really love the sprayed edges that have been coming out. So if I'm able to find them at a good price, then I'll collect a few here and there. So we're gonna dive right in. Because I have a larger amount than normal, I try to do this every time I get like 10. I have a lot more than 10 here. I am not gonna go super deep into the descriptions with you guys. We're just gonna do like a brief overview so we can kind of get through. Okay, Heavenbreaker by Sarah Wolf. I was debating on whether or not I wanted to get this one. This is from Red Tower Books, who did Fourth Wing. They are a UK publisher, I believe, but we get them here as well. And they do the most beautiful books and book editions right now. I'm a little torn on whether their books are gonna be like too spicy for me, like all of them, because I've only really read Fourth Wing. However, this one wound up being on Book Outlet, which is another example of don't waste all of your money on new books. You can find so many good deals on books if you just wait just a little bit. I have another one on Book Outlet I'll show you in a second. Because this is a regularly published book, this is the first edition that's exclusive, but it's not incredibly hard to find, and so the leftovers wound up on Book Outlet. If there are any still available, I will link them down below. But they do such beautiful books. I don't know anything about this one. I believe they're all considered new adult. So we've got some gold foiling just on the one page and the pretty sprayed edges. I think that this one was on sale for $8 on Book Outlet. I got it over Christmas time and I got an additional 20% off. Pretty end pages as well, but as you can see, this has been bent, which happens sometimes with Book Outlet. Less with Book Outlet than other places because they actually get new release books that are like, this is like a brand new book versus getting used books. So it looks like we have a war fantasy. Looks like our main character is like stabbing her enemy right at the beginning of the book and getting revenge on something that has happened to her family. I'm assuming there'll be a romance in here as well. We'll see. Okay, another one I got from Book Outlet is The Last Murder at the End of the World. Again, I think it was like around $8. This one just has beautiful teal sprayed edges and gorgeous end pages. I'm not sure if the end pages will be different on the regular edition or not, or if all of them will be printed this way. This is the new mystery thriller from Stuart Turton, who did 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which I have very mixed feelings about. I thought it was really good, but it was very complicated and a little bit tricky to follow. This one seems to be a little bit more of a survival thriller, which is right up my alley. We're in kind of this utopian society after like an apocalyptic fog came and wiped out almost everyone. They're living on this island. There's 133 people. There's like scientists and particular people, and everything seems to be going fairly well. well. Then one of the scientists is found brutally murdered and they have to like solve this mystery about why this happened, and it kind of starts to unravel everything in this world. So that sounds fabulous. All right, this next one I have read and was kindly sent to me by a sweet, sweet friend for Christmas, and that is the special slipcase edition of Cinder. I know this is available on Amazon as well as Barnes & Noble, and it's like, I want to say like 20 bucks. It's really not that bad. So it's very cool. It has this special slipcase and then this robot hand. It says Once Upon a Time. No in pages or anything like that. I don't know if they're doing all of them in this edition. I would suspect that they would. The Lunar Chronicles is one of my all-time favorite series. It is a sci-fi series that is a sci-fi retelling of Cinderella, Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, and then Snow White, but they all connect together, so you do need to start with Cinder. Marissa Meyer is currently my favorite author, and they are just so incredibly charming. It's a YA series. It's just epic. The audios are awesome as well. Lucky to have this. These were both Christmas presents. She also sent me her special Fairyloot edition of The Teller of Small Fortunes. I have the YA Fairyloot subscription currently, but not the adult one. And I don't know how she knew, but I really wanted this one like so badly. So this is by Julie Long, and it has beautiful like teapots and cats, and it's cozy. The sprayed edges have teapots, and I'm such a sucker for like cherry blossom trees. I used to have one painted in my kitchen. The most beautiful in pages. Oh my gosh. So pretty and springtime, and look at the shine on that. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And then this is the Naked book. So freaking beautiful. And then there is also a reverse dust jacket. So beautiful. I love the reverse dust jacket. So fleeing from her troubled past, immigrant fortune teller Tao roams the dusty countryside with only her mule for company, telling small fortunes for small prices. Big fortunes come with big consequences, which she knows from bitter experience. It's supposed to be very charming, very cozy, and I'm really hoping to get to it soon. This one was actually a birthday present. My birthday present's in April. I had some pre-ordered books on my Amazon wish list, and so my sweet friend pre-ordered this one for me, and I got it in November. The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson. This is just the first special edition that is on like Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I think that it's still available. It really just has the sprayed edges and a little bit difference on the cover. This is by Mary E. Pearson, who wrote the Kiss of Deception series that I really still need to read, and I've heard amazing things from. But this is like her adult fantasy novel. I'm not sure if it's first in a series. So this is one of those novels where her family dies and she gets a letter from an aunt where she gets to go stay with her, I believe, and then family secrets start to unravel. So sounds cool. This is one I got during the Target buy to get one free sale that I did in November, and that is Obsidian from Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is part of a YA Alien series. This is a special edition, but again available at Amazon and Target. It is so pretty. I love the edges. This is a totally different cover than the original one, so cover and the edges are the special part about it. I enjoyed this one. This is the only Jennifer L. Armentrout book that I have really liked so far. Basically, this girl moves to a new town. There's like a mysterious boy, and she kind of uncovers that he is an alien, and they have to go on like an adventure. A little bit Twilighty. If you're in for like an old school YA book, I'll probably read the rest of the series sometime. And yeah, I just enjoyed this one. All right, then we have Long Live Evil by Sarah Reese Brennan. This one was kindly sent to me by a friend who gets the adult Fairyloot subscription, and she just wasn't interested in this one. She sent it to me. It was so nice because I was super interested in it. I was hoping to read this for my Villains and Vampires themed readathon, but I didn't make it quite in time. So this is the Fairyloot edition. I believe this is an adult fantasy. Beautiful naked book with some gold sprayed edges. Love these in pages. And then Fairyloot almost always does a reverse dust jacket, which is very cool. When her whole life collapsed, Ray still had books. Dying, she seizes a second chance at living through a magical bargain that lets her enter the world of her favorite fantasy series. So falling into a book situation, which I love. All right, now a couple from my Fairyloot subscription that I haven't shared yet. So The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. I was not aware of this one when I got it, but it sounds really cool. The City of Phantoms. So this is part of a YA fantasy series. Really love these edges. I just love the gold foiling on these in pages. Also, they always look like so romantic. Naked book. This is very cool. And then the really cool reverse dust jacket. Sometimes I swap these out, sometimes I don't. In Phantome, a kingdom of cobbled streets, flickering lamplight and beautiful buildings, and secret catacombs. Shade magic is scarce and deadly commodity controlled by two enemy guilds, the Cloaks and the Daggers, the Thieves and Assassin. On the night of her mother's murder, 18-year-old Seraphine runs for her life, seeking sanctuary with the Cloaks. Sarah's heart is set on revenge, but are her secret abilities a match for the dark-haired boy whose quicksilver eyes follow her around the city? So, a little YA romantasy series. Next, we have Air by Sabaa Tahir. I was so excited to get this one. I have not read anything from Sabaa Tahir yet, but I really want to. So, this is such a freaking gorgeous edition, and I love books with mountains on the cover, or like in any capacity. The end pages are so fun. They have like constellations on them, so I'm feeling like this one might be good for hike-a-thon. Look at those mountainy sprayed edges. Epic. Naked book, very cool. And then a very, very epic reverse dust jacket as well. This is a high fantasy YA series. We have an orphan and outcast, a prince and a killer who will bring an empire to its knees. Banished from her tribe for an unforgivable crime, Saoirse is a down-on-her-luck tracker who speaks to the earth, air, and water to trace her marks. Destitute, she agrees to hunt down a killer who has murdered children across the empire. I'm sure there'll be a romance in here as well. Another Fairyloot that I have is For She Is Wrath by Emily Varga. Another one I hadn't heard of. This is again the start of another young adult fantasy. Super cool in pages. Love that sword fight. Beautiful sprayed edges, a really neat naked book, and then a very cool reverse dust jacket. What if the man you loved was the first person who betrayed you? Vanta has been betrayed by her lover and falsely imprisoned for a crime she did not commit. She's counting down the days until she can exact her revenge when a fellow prisoner offers a chance to escape and the keys to a dangerous Jinn magic. So I haven't read a Jinn book before. I have a couple, so sounds very cool. The last Fairyloot that I got was The Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson, which dragons are all the rage. I really love this cover. It's so freaking pretty. Very cool in pages. It looks like a greenhouse, which I love anything with gardens. Very romantic. Love the sprayed edges. Absolutely love this naked book where the dragon goes all the way through. And then of course, an epic reverse dust jacket. High fantasy YA series, London 1923. Dragons soar through the skies and protests erupt on the streets. But Vivian Featherswallow isn't worried. She's going to follow the rules and get an internship studying dragon languages. By midnight, Viv has started a civil war. When her parents are arrested and her little sister is missing, all the safety Viv has worked for is collapsing around her. So when a lifeline is offered in the form of a mysterious job, she grabs it. Arriving at Bletchley Park, Viv discovers that she has been recruited to uncover the secrets of hidden dragon language. And if she succeeds, she and her family can all go home again, but if she doesn't, they will die. So this sounds like a high fantasy, but also it's giving me like a little bit of Emily Wilde vibes where she's got to study this other type of dragon. So this might be right up my alley. Very excited. Then my other friend also sent me The Castle of the Curse. This is the Owlcrate edition. This is a YA standalone vampire romantasy. I read this one for my Vampires and Villains themed readathon. I will link the reading vlog where I read it up in the cards and down below in the description. I didn't love this quite as much as I wanted to, but it's still a solid like vampire read, and so I wanted to have a copy, so she sent me hers. This has like stained glass edges and stained glass on the book. It's very different from the regular cover. In pages are very cool. Love that. The naked book is red and very, very neat. And then Owlcrate usually does the reverse dust jacket as well. This one is kind of like a haunted house situation with a lot of Hispanic influence. So after a mysterious attack claims the lives of her parents, Estella is left to solve the case. She's sent to live with an estranged aunt in a Spanish castle called La Sombra. It harbors a trove of family secrets, and she begins to suspect her parents' deaths might not have been an accident. This book has a ton going on. There's so much going on. It's so long. There's some romance in here. There's vampires. There's haunted house secrets. There's family lore. There's some stuff at the end. It felt a little bit all over the place, but I feel like some people still might really love it. So yeah, All right, then the rest of these I actually just found while I was like thrifting out and about at library bookstores and my local Goodwill. Be sure and check them often because you just never know what you're gonna find. So I got The Maiden Ship by Michelle Reichman. I found this one for $7 at one of my favorite shops called Book Off. They have a lot of gently used books and they have a really great dollar section as well. I cannot remember who published this edition. I want to say Fairyloot, but I am not sure. But this was definitely a special edition version. The regular edition still has this cover, but we have beautiful gold sprayed edges and then these beautiful foiling on the book with the ship is the reverse dust jacket. This is actually part of Whimsical Publishing, which is an indie publishing group. They do exclusively like YA, no spice, no cursing, romance and adventure books, and this is the first in a nautical trilogy. I believe this is the first one they published as well. I've read the whole trilogy. I think I already own them all, but I was so excited to get this one because you cannot find this one very easily, but I found it. And it is such a really magical and fun adventure story. A little bit piratey, really good for Mermaid Marathon. We're following Dane Alloway and he was 9 years old when he began his new life with his father sailing abroad the Maiden. 8 years later, the aristocrat city boy turned merchant sailor feels like he lives with 1 foot on the land and 1 foot in the sea. Life floats smoothly until the night he wakes to find a mysterious woman in his cabin. Really good, really sweet romance and a really fun adventure. Also at Book Off, I found The Bright and the Pale. This is also an exclusive edition. This is a Fairyloot edition of Bright and the Pale. I think this one's been out for quite a while. Beautiful blue edges, just a little necklace on the cover, and then I love this reverse dust jacket. Very wintry, very cool. I've been wanting to read this like every winter. This is by Jessica Rubinkowski, and 17-year-old Valeria is one of the only survivors of the Freeze, a dark magical hold on Knot Mountain unleashed on her village. Everyone, including her family, is trapped in an unbreakable sheet of ice. So we have like this high fantasy in this permanent winter mountain, which is very cool. Okay, then at my Goodwill bookstore, I found the Bonecryer's Moon and Bonecryer's Dawn. This is just the regular edition, but I just want to include it in here because I found them together. This is, I think, a duology. It could be a trilogy. Such a pretty, pretty cover. This is the Owlcrate edition. Again, this is one I think that is older because there's like nothing on the cover, no reverse dust jacket. This cover's a little bit different. It's like shiny and a little bit more blue. And then we have these like kind of golden sprayed edges. This is part of a YA duology. Bonecryers have a sacred duty. They alone can keep the dead from preying on the living, but their power to ferry the spirits of the dead into the goddess Alera's night heavens or Tyrus's underworld comes with sacrifice. The gods demand a promise of dedication at the cost of the Bonecryer's one true love. Ooh, I haven't read that synopsis before. That sounds so good. Oh my gosh. I love books about like ferrying people to the underworld or to the heavens. So I may need to get to this one this year. From Barnes & Noble, because I had a sweet friend give me a gift card for Christmas. I actually got 2 special editions because they had like $10 hardback sale. So this is Invocations. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. This hardback has no dust jacket. It's just printed directly on it. It's got a pink spine, beautiful rose gold edging, and then it has some special content in it. This is by Crystal Sutherland. This is the part of a YA series. I've heard amazing things about this one. I really like Crystal Sutherland's other book that I have read, 3 Girls and One Supernatural Killer on the Loose. Zara Jones believes in magic because the alternative is too painful. To consider that her murdered sister is gone forever and there's nothing she can do about it. Rather than grieving and moving on, Zara decides she will do whatever it takes to claw her sister back from the grave, even trading in the occult. So we have some like witchy magic going on. Then at the Goodwill, I found The Kingdom of Little Wounds by Susan Kogel. I've heard a lot of things about this book. I didn't even know they made a special edition. This might just be the regular edition because her regular edition of Mermaid Moon, which is one of my favorite mermaid books ever, has like sprayed edges and a beautiful naked hardcover. So this may be the regular, I'm not sure, but it is really beautiful. Has like burgundy edges and then nothing on the naked book or the in pages, so it might just be the regular one. I've heard very mixed things about this one and that it's very weird. I'm willing to try it because I love Mermaid Moon so much, so we're gonna go in together. I've heard it's very strange. I've heard one thing in particular that made me kind of not want to read it, but I'm gonna find out for myself. It's while I stitch together the queen's gown on the night her eldest daughter is to die that I first sense an uneasy power. On the eve of Princess Sophia's wedding, the scandal Scandinavian city of Skaghaven prepares to fete the occasion with a sumptuous display of riches. Yet beneath the veneer of celebration, a shiver of darkness creeps through the palace halls. A warning that there's some strange things in here. I've heard it's extremely dark and maybe shouldn't be considered YA. I'm gonna read it and let you guys know. All right, the other one that I got is Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. So this is another slipcase edition. I mean, this is so cool. Looks like a VHS tape, and then you got your little slipcase here. So this is printed directly on it. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. I read this one at the beginning of the year. It was one of the thrillers that I read, and unfortunately, I didn't love it. It wasn't bad. I do think this is a good one for thriller beginners. It just wasn't quite what I wanted it to be. I wanted a little more nostalgia from it as well. So we're following these three siblings that kind of come back together after not talking too much recently because their mother has passed and they have to like deal with all her affairs in the estate, and they stumble upon a VHS tape that shows their father covered in blood, and they start to have to unravel the mystery of something that happens in here, and family secrets come out. It was very predictable in my opinion. I try really hard not to predict things because I just want to enjoy them while I'm reading, but I found it very predictable. I did like the audio. I feel like there were multiple narrators. It was really well done, but it felt a little bit slow at parts. I didn't really like any of the characters, so I didn't really care about what happened with the mystery. I don't know if I'll be keeping this particular one. I may trade it or sell it or something for something else. It's very cool though. So we'll have to see, but I have mixed feelings. It was like a 3-star for me. So just take that with a grain of salt. Okay, so those are all the special editions I've been collecting for the last couple months. A lot of them were gifts. A lot of them I just happened to be lucky and found out and about. Some were from Fairyloot, just a whole blend of things. Let me know which one you thought was your favorite down below in the comments. Let me know if you like to get special editions occasionally, if you're able to find them out like I am hunting or through Book Outlet and stuff like that. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Bright Side Girl, and I will see you guys next time on The Bright Side.